Hey, internets! Hey, down here, over in the corner. I'm usually over there, but not anymore. But hey, internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is welcome to Paradise Academy. This is episode 16, season 2. Comes a Wayward Storm, and in just a few minutes, Jeremy will tell us what that's all about as I hand the reins over to him after some announcements. Before, actually, somebody tell Chad to come back in. He was in the waiting room and now he's gone. I was going to let him in. Anyway, we got to let Chad in. A couple of quick announcements before we get started. If you look up in the corner up above, straight up there above M and Tamiko, you'll notice the fancy looking pops. Those are our domain pops. They are a oh wait, there's Chad still waiting. They're a way for you, the viewer, to have an impact on the game simply by cheering 500 bits, tipping $5, subscribing, resubscribing, gift subs, all of those things will earn domain dice or domain tomes for us here. I am currently trying to find the right window to dump as Chad gets in here. So patience as we do a little live production here. Ignore that wizard in the corner. I'm probably going to leave with the wrong camera. Yep, I left with the wrong camera. That's all right. We'll fix things here real quick. Nope, Tamiko, you go there. There we go. Everybody's in the right place. All right.
We are professionals, folks.
Yep.
Please do not try anything that you see at home.
Or do. Experimenting is fun.
Actually, you should, yeah.
Yes. All right. So, Tamiko has just resubscribed, which means I owe you a pop. It's that simple. I'm kind of excited to be on the side where I get to use the pops that have all these glorious pops. So there's 5 of you. So 25 of them are earmarked to make each and every one of you roll on the D100 roll table during my tenure. All right, real quick, so we can get into things because we did get a little bit of a late start. Be sure to tune in for some of our other shows. You can tune in on Monday nights for Scribes and Scrolls. We've only got like 3 episodes left, maybe 4 if we end up stretching it for one grand finale, or the third one will be a grand finale. But that campaign is almost done. This Monday will be our 100th episode of the regular campaign, so we're very excited about that. Things are happening.
It's an enormous feat.
And we're excited about it. Little mixed emotions because it's a 3-year campaign that's coming to an end. Yeah, so you can tune in for that, or you can tune in on Tuesday for our next session of Sky Metal Iron Gods that plays every other Tuesday. That's a D&D campaign, and of course every Thursday you can catch us right here for Welcome to Paradise Academy, our Kids on Bikes RPG. Let's see, I want you all to know that we have a couple of new chat commands for some of the announcements we usually make. We are adults portraying fictitious characters in fantastic settings. You may hear graphic depictions of violence, intense dramatic roleplay, or sensitive topics, including, but not limited to, divorce, bullying, alcohol and substance use and abuse, and more. If this is something that doesn't appeal to you, we encourage you to take care of yourself and leave the stream. Speaking of those things, it's important to know that we have safety tools in place. All of the players have participated in the session 0 where specific lines and veils were established. Additionally, safety tools are in place to ensure that all players are. We use the traffic light system. We encourage you to have session 0s, lines and veils, and other safety tools at your own table. For more information, check out the URL where you will find the TTRPG Safety Toolkit, where I got the RPG checklist the traffic light system, but there's also other things such as the X card, etc. Explanations on how to use them, how to implement them at your table, things like that. Last thing I want to mention before I turn things over to our game master is just a reminder that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference. Whether you believe it or not, it is true. There can be any number of reasons why you are looking for somebody to talk to. It doesn't matter what those reasons are. It only matters that you know how to find the person that you need to talk to. We try to make that as simple as possible, simply by coming into our chat at any time or watching the bottom of the screen. You can type in !help as Jeremy has done, or watch at the bottom of the screen. You will see a couple URLs. Findahelpline.com, or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend. Remember, you matter. With that, I would like to welcome you to Paradise Academy and your interim game master, Jeremy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Everybody hang on tight. So, as we find paradise once more, the moon rises full and bright over the town on homecoming night. The team's win is still being celebrated in the various corners of this place, but especially so at Paradise Academy, because tonight, the young hearts of Paradise, Michigan are opening up, and for some breaking, at the big dance. But as the skies of September turn gloomy, spirits and hormones run high at the midnight masquerade. This is until just now, because just now, a bright flash of light burst out from the disco ball hung from the gymnasium rafters and has plunged us all into total darkness. Eventually, however, the lights come back up with the generators kicking in, and as the lights flicker back on in the gymnasium, we find several individuals, including Laz, laid out motionless. Rosie has crossed to comfort Laz, to try to shake him awake. But other people are starting to notice that there are other individuals who are also laid out on the ground. But that's not all that's happening. I think while that is all kind of transpiring around us, we pull in to see homecoming king and queen embraced. What do we see?
Em, do you want me to take this, or do you want to take it? In the darkness, nobody can see what's going on. But as the light comes back, you can see that that Billy and Jessica have moved from the typical slow dance that was happening to they are embraced and kissing in the middle of the dance floor.
What is everybody else up to? What's going on around this embrace?
I thought it was freakishly hilarious that you mentioned that Laz and a bunch of other people basically hit the deck, right? So I imagine that Coop is still unconscious in the chair where he was left. So for all intents and purposes, it looks like he was affected too, but he wasn't.
Oh boy. I'd say, Chad, if you want to take it. I don't know how long Carrie's going to be, but I know that Claire was right there with Rosie and Laz, so I'm going to hold off if we can.
Yeah, so I think Oak is coming back from like being with Dr. K and then like just seeing the aftermath of what happened. His immediate response is to look around for a couple of people. One, Rosie, which he can clearly see in the middle of the dance floor, or near, like on wherever Laz is. He sees Laz on the floor, sees Rosie, knows that that's something he has to deal with at some point. But then you said there's multiple people that have fallen. I think he wants to just kind of take a cursory glance as to who those people might be. And then third, he's also going to be looking for Gertie and seeing if they have like moved or found a spot within the dance floor as well. And he's just trying to get his bearings and figure out where everybody is at this point. All the parties that he's looking to intertwine. So what would I need to do for that, Jeremy?
So I don't think that it's going to need a roll to figure out who it is that's unconscious. You see that it is Ms. Nielsen from Metal Shop class. Uh-oh.
It's good. Carrie's coming in.
Okay. You see Aria Lyric, who is the choir teacher, Brian Bunsen, the chemistry teacher, and Laz.
And no other students?
No.
Okay. Very surprised. So Laz is the only student, and then 3 other teachers, right? 3 or 4?
Right,
Okay. 3 other teachers. Okay. He grabs out his, like, not his journal, but like I imagine he has like a travel notebook that he carries around that's like the little tiny mini spiral, and he like just jots down what he could see, and then he'll put it right back, like not in his suit like not in the suit pocket, but like in his pants pocket, and he'll make a note of that to like remember for later. But does he see Gertie and what they're doing right now?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Gertie is nowhere to be found. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nor is Dr. K.
Nor is Dr. K. Okay, perfect. So I think at this point, yeah, I think if those options are out of the way, he would then go up to Rosie to like be a consoling friend. Hey Rosie, look, I gotta
what, Oak?
look, I know what just happened, but it's I think he's gonna be okay. But we just gotta get him to the nurse's office, okay? We'll get him to the nurse's office. We'll see what we can do about it. It'll be all right.
And so are we still in the gym? Sorry, a little bit late. Are we still like in the gym? Okay.
Yeah. I was waiting for you because I'm right there too.
Okay. So it's like, okay. And is there like chaos around us, or like what's happening?
Yes, it's it's like a situation that is very quickly devolving into mayhem. You know, anybody who is an adult is starting to scream and yell for somebody to call 911, and students are probably half and half. Some of them are kind of cheering because they think this is hilarious, and some of them are kind of scared.
And some of them are in the middle of the dance floor kissing.
Truth.
That's Billy and Jessica.
There's
Obvious.
and-
Oh my
and,
god.
Jerry had the
I
note.
imagine after like the screaming and the lights come back on, we probably stop to see what's going on. But you know,
Yeah, it's probably like a few seconds, and then the screaming starts.
Everybody around is like, oh,
and I think
and these guys are just like, I love you.
as Oak is running up to Rosie, Claire is like grabbing a hair tie and quickly pulling her hair back and looking right down at Rosie and going, I was trained as a lifeguard. Is he breathing?
I don't know. And Rosie is kind of like honestly like panicking in this moment.
Move.
It's a lot.
And I just get
I
down
do.
on my knees right there, immediately start checking for a pulse, putting my head down, checking for breath. I'm assuming there's no pulse.
There is, in fact, no pulse, no breathing whatsoever.
So I think I would immediately go into, if you'll allow, because this was sort of an in the moment. I didn't add lifeguard to the or skilled to the character sheet, but I just suddenly had this thought that Claire, who she is, she probably was volunteers at the Y in the summer or something, or at the beach or whatever. So she's gonna start doing CPR on Laz. Chest compressions, intermittent. I think the first time she goes in for the mouth to mouth, she sort of gives an uncomfortable look up at Rosie, given that Rosie's sort of still right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then starts to go, and then just goes for life-saving measures.
Ooh, Rosie looks away. She's like, she understands that this is like, she's seen it in movies, so she's like, she gets what's happening, but it's like, yeah.
I'm going to steal this from Tomiko because I just saw it. I absolutely think that Claire is, while counting off, is just going, staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. So yeah, that's what I'm doing for, well, if I'm properly trained, I'm doing it until paramedics arrive to take over. So I'm doing CPR.
so Oak, do you say anything about this not really being necessary?
I was gonna get to that. Yeah, Rosie, I think you really need to see something.
Oh,
We need to take. Listen. You want him to be okay.
yeah. What? He's like
Yeah,
dead. I don't
so-
think getting him to the empty nurse's office is gonna help.
Listen. Okay, I don't want to scare you, but I know things about Laz, and I need you to just help me get him up and get him to the nurse's office.
And Rosie like has her kind of like trademark hesitance. Just listening to you because you're an infant. But she's just like,
I'm a 12-year-old with a brain that shouldn't be there.
2 years
fine.
younger than you, and he's an infant.
yeah. Oh, he is so unknowledgeable of the ways of the world. But Rosie knows everything. So finally,
So,
Rosie's like,
Has
fine,
it been enough time that
Billy, come here, help me.
I was gonna say,
and-
is it enough time that Billy and Jess could have gotten over here?
Yeah, let's see.
I mean,
what,
if not,
yeah.
then I've called you over. So
I imagine so. Yeah.
Billy, come help
So-
me.
All right, So I believe I have a little bit more information, or I have the information that Oak has, right? Like I know that he's a robot, or did
I
I,
think-
or did I only see the?
I think so.
I think you know
You
he's
told
a
us
robot
all
'cause
at
of
the pizza place. I
Yeah.
think we all kind of know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
Rosie's
So-
forgotten. She wasn't really listening.
She just blacked that out. He's like, yeah. Laz is like, yeah, I'm a robot. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm a robot. And you're like,
Man, this
she's
pizza's
white.
great.
She thought he said I can do the robot.
The
Oh
thought
yeah,
bubble
so
is
can
just
everybody
pizza.
else. Can I have Parmesan, please? And
So-
so she's like, Rosie like grabs one of Laz's dumb feet and it's like, Billy, we got to get him to the nurse's office. Oak said so.
So
What are you doing? I'm not
I'll reach
supposed to
down
stop.
and, you know,
Claire, I
Claire,
can't
just-
explain to you why, but we gotta listen to Oak. He knows what he's talking about.
you're not
I'm
going to
sure.
do anything.
When the two of you kind of turn around to respond to Claire, you notice that on Claire's back, like kind of perched on her shoulder, is a severed hand.
Oh my god. And I like turn and I'm like,
The
Uh,
fuck?
oh my god. Oh
Get a
my
ho-
god.
Get
You
a
can't
hold
kind
of
of, like,
yourself. I told you I could
ways
fix
it.
him.
So it's like thing. It's moving on its own.
Yes. Picture thing.
Jessica screams
Fair. Like
at Claire, like in just yeah.
I didn't
I
it
think
was
immediate
alive.
response from Claire is to scream back, not knowing why.
Yeah. So now there's just two girls screaming at each other.
At each other. Not even screaming words, not screaming in anger, just
I
screaming.
think the hand is actually like pivoting on its thumb and like throwing its fingers open, almost like in mock scream, like back.
Where
Well,
is this
for the time
hand?
being, I'm going to ignore the hand, and I'm going to reach down to try and, you know, grab Laz and get him to where he needs to go.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I also kind of like eventually snapped out of it, and I help Billy, and I imagine we start dragging him out of the gym, possibly as the scream continues.
This is so typical of this group. They're spotting a severed hand on somebody they don't like, and they're like, wait, this is more important. Sorry, Claire, you're on your own.
Priorities.
Well, to be fair, you're not one of the group,
Yeah.
and it's already established before we knew that you were going to be a player that I don't like this character. So,
And
it's
are you
not
talking
like
to
the
Jake
hand's
or to Claire?
choking her or anything?
Claire.
Yeah,
You're fine.
there's no immediate
love
threat.
Jake. Can't stand Claire.
Fair.
Where
So yeah, we're dragging Laz.
where
It's
on
just
me
like-
is this hand?
On your shoulder.
Okay, I'm just wondering at what point I'm going to notice that there's a severed hand on my shoulder.
Right about now. Whenever they're leaving, taking Laz, you feel a tap on your shoulder. And when you look, this hand just kind of points after them.
So I think there's that moment coming right out of a series of like 2 or 3 screams with back and forth with Jessica. And then somebody's tapping on my shoulder and immediately kind of going, huh, what? And then the scream is this time is much more intense. And I think by sheer trying to get away from this thing, I take off running and it just happens to be in the direction that they're going. And I'm probably going to run right into the back of Rosie.
Oh my god. As soon as you like knock into Rosie, I imagine she loses grip of Laz's foot, and Rosie is just frazzled and scared and like all of it, and she turns around and she is I think she's just gonna like shove Claire back. I mean, I think that she's like this close to popping her in the mouth. Maybe like, get off of me. You have made contact twice.
Get it
That
off
is
of
twice
me!
too many.
Get it off of me! What is it?
And I kind of like look at Jessica and I'm like, Jessica, can you help Billy with that, please? And I want to like try to punch the fucking hand off of Claire's shoulder. I want to like try to like precise shot.
Oh, please,
Please.
Miss and hit her in the face.
Please don't punch me.
Well, I'm
This
trying to not.
sounds- This sounds like we need a roll.
I think we need to bust out the dice. It is time. What is this roll? Boss man.
I mean, I think brawl probably works. Isn't
Probably brawl. Well,
There is no
wait,
brawl.
there's no such brawl.
I don't know this
Brawn.
system.
Or brawn.
Brawn. That's the one.
Brawn. It would be brawn is your ability to stand
It's close enough.
is to stand up
It's
against
only one letter different.
things. Fight is your fighting skill.
That's
Okay,
a
that's a fair point. So probably fight then.
so fight.
Generally
Now that
a
you've rolled the
fight,
die.
generally speaking, a fight is the attacker's fight skill versus the attacked, either brawn or flight, depending on if they're trying to dodge or if they're going to take the punch. And then,
Excellent.
Jeremy, do you have the rules in front of you? We kind of glossed over in handing over the story to Jeremy. We kind of glossed over the rules portion of the handoff.
Okay.
But I have all of that stuff.
Rules.
You know, I'm gonna spend 3 pops to make that a 5, because I feel like against this hand, who doesn't presumably know how to fight or know anything because it's a hand, I feel like a 5 would be effective.
All right.
3 pops.
So then the question that I need to ask is, Coop, what is your brawn?
It's fucking. Oh my
Coop?
god.
Oh, we knew it was
Your
Coop's hand.
Yeah, it's Coop's hand.
Oh wow. Okay, that's unexpected. My brawn is a D12.
Of course it is. I love that.
So brawny.
So what did you get again, Carrie?
I got a 5.
Okay.
I
That
rolled a
beats
5.
The 2 that I rolled. So,
Nice.
So
yeah,
in
you
that
deck
case,
this hand. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in that case, the attacker explains how they attack, and the defender narrates what they do to mitigate it, to mitigate harm to them, because it's a 1 to 3 result.
So I think again, Rosie is panicking, and she's loaded up to pop Claire because she doesn't exactly understand the situation. But then she sees the hand and get it off me, and she just goes and there's and hits the hand, and I imagine it maybe goes flying, or maybe doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah. It flies off of her and it kind of lands with almost like that airplane tire squeal, along the floor.
Jesus, I hate it. Hate it so much. And Rosie looks one more time at Claire and be like, "Let's go." And she just turns and then continues to kind of help get Laz out of the gym.
I think, in the interest of given that, and now suddenly not wanting to be left alone, especially with a crawling hand somewhere around here, I'm gonna grab Laz's other leg and help Rosie carry Laz.
Perfect. Terrific.
So, quick question: as we're marching unconscious robot Laz down the hallway, how close to the end of the dance did the EMP go off?
It's a great question.
It's probably about 11:45 at this point.
Ooh.
Watch the clock, Cinderella.
You are officially dilly-dallying,
Cinderfella.
sir.
No, because I get to leave at midnight, and
Close.
that gives me time to get home
Close to the
before.
range.
So as we get, unless there's something that interferes, once we get Laz, in there, I imagine with us jumping the 2 weeks, I imagine it was shared to a la crew that, hey, there's an extra shindig at my place for those that want to go and deal with vampires and werewolf nonsense. You're more than welcome, but it's going to be vampires and werewolves there. So I would then say, once we put Laz down, hey, I gotta go soon. I know that this is kind of awkward, and Rosie, it's not as bad as it looks. So try to relax. But who's actually coming to my place?
I gotta be honest, I think I'm done for the night. This has been a blast. I'm done. I'm going home after this. After you guys all explain to me what the hell is going on with Laz!
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm getting there. Trust me, it's gonna. We just. I imagine, Jake, help me out, buddy. Nurse Ratchet would know, right? So if I could get a hold of Nurse Ratchet, she would know what's going on.
I don't know. That's
If I
the
remember
GM.
correctly. Okay, cool. Jeremy, if I get a hold of Nurse Ratchet, she would know what's going on with the situation that I got going on.
I know that we know that. I don't know if Oak knows that. I don't
No,
remember
Oak
that.
would know.
Oak would know
because
Yeah.
Oak did
Oak would know
go
that
down
because he
with
went
her.
down with
Oak-
Nurse Ratchet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So yes,
So-
he would know.
Okay. Yeah, all we got to do is see Nurse Ratchet, and I swear she'll get us to where we need to go. So yeah, making a beeline. But then I do look to Billy. Hey, I think all of us left Coop back in there. Maybe at some point when we get done here, one of us should go check on him. So if you plan on going home, absolutely check on him before you leave.
I can do that, but you know
Yeah.
that time is,
Time is
Kind
of
of.
the essence.
and I imagine, we've made several jokes about this. Even though that I shaved just before I left, I imagine like my beard is already starting to grow in after a handful of hours at the dance.
Billy just got 2 notches hotter. We need to get him home.
He got full shaven immediately, got 5 o'clock shadow within an hour.
We turned around and we're like, God damn, Billy.
Especially like as he's walking past like the windows that show like the full moonlight like streaming in with his like tie probably undone.
Probably Claire's even though she's wide-eyed in this moment, because Claire, I think for the briefest moment, everybody's forgotten about Claire.
Yeah.
And you guys are talking about, hey, I gotta
Robots,
go,
vampires,
but if you want to come to a
werewolves.
werewolf and vampire party and just
I-
all this
I-
conversation.
I think I described the vampire werewolf thing previously, and here I'm dropping like you're going to be dealing with some stuff, but if you're wanting to come,
But
this is the reminder.
The casual way in which you just mentioned that, Claire's just like, but even in that moment with the wide-eyed look, as Billy's walking by the windows, kind of giving that little bit of, maybe she just bites her lower lip a little bit, like, oh.
Billy is the female gaze right now. So yeah, I think Rosie's just like frozen. She's just kind of like buffering, waiting for somebody to explain what's going on with Les.
Okay, so
And then
I
she's
think
tapping out.
we kind of speed forward a little bit, get to the nurse's office, and I'm gonna rap on the door and see if like perhaps Nurse Ratchet is here. If she's not, I don't know if she attended tonight. Not sure.
As y'all are heading down the hallway towards this, we pan back to the dance for just a second, where Coop is splayed out on whatever chair he was kind of deposited into, and we see his hand kind of perched on his chest, like slapping his face a little on one side and then the other, and then it just kind of almost like shakes its fingers back and forth, like it's disappointed.
That's amazing. This is so fucking funny.
Oak, whenever you knock
Right.
on the nurse's office, there is no response. There's no light coming from inside.
All right. Once you guys get him inside, I'll go and see if Nurse Hatchet or Ratchet, whatever it is here. I'll check on Coop. I'll report back to you guys to see who's coming with before I head out. And I'll go tearing off down the hallway.
I think
Sounds good.
Rosie, can I make an interjection and tell me if this is too much, Jeremy? I think Rosie has her keys, like her house keys, and obviously Rosie doesn't own a purse. So where else are you gonna put like your 2 house keys but in your bra? And Rosie would like pull it out. And does she have a master key to the school, to the building, like to get into like her mom's office if need be? She needs a tampon or whatever.
Didn't we ask this at one point?
If I yeah,
we
You
and I
established
did
did.
on
one
the
way or the
first day
other.
of school. I don't.
That it was
Do
missing,
you
right?
still have it?
That's a good question. I don't know if I ever gave it back. You want to make a roll for it?
Yeah, I think so.
Do the
Maybe
sliding
one
scale,
of
brother.
Jake's
Do the sliding
yeah.
scale.
D100 roll.
Okay, here I go.
You guys, and for the audience, you have no idea how much I'm biting my tongue over here, avoiding interjecting at different points, trying to say where somebody is or who's doing what.
You're not in charge. I got an 8.
Okay. No.
I
You
don't
do
have
not have such a key.
Yet. I mean, I don't know how we're gonna get him in unless we break the door down.
Is it locked, Laz? Jeremy? I'm so used to
It's
calling you
okay.
Laz that I mean...
You can still
yeah.
call me Laz.
I mean,
Um, yes,
Nurse Hatchet
it is.
isn't in there. Why do we need to get in so bad?
Well, I don't know. I just know that she knows where to get him. And like he closes his eyes for a minute, and I'm like trying to remember where we went, what happened, where things were. Is there a way that like he could go back through his mental, like go back through his
So-
memories and see if he can link up to where he found an entrance to where he needs to go?
Weren't you scribbling notes when all of that
I
happened?
was actually. I think
He has a detailed.
Do any of
detailed
you
account.
actually remember how the access was to the...
I do.
'Cause I'm
I
just
do.
curious.
I kind of do.
Medicine
but
cabinet
I wasn't
opened,
there.
didn't it? To a service elevator. A medicine cabinet opened to a secret service elevator, right?
Yep, medicine cabinet on a 3rd floor. Yep, and then
There was an elevator.
There was
There
an
was an
elevator.
elevator.
There was no medicine
Yep.
cabinet.
there was
Oh.
an elevator. There was elevator access, 3rd floor, that went down further.
Wasn't it a fire alarm panel?
I forget.
My
forget
God,
the
great
exact
question.
details.
Secret elevator.
You go down the stairs to the basement level,
To the basement
where
level,
there
yep.
should be a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was another set of stairs. I think there was something like a fire alarm or something that he moved.
The watch pixelates the
oh,
wall.
that's right. The watch
Uh,
pixelated the wall, which allowed you to go down more stairs. Then there was a fire alarm thing that activated
Got
the
it.
secret elevator.
That was the retina scanner.
Okay.
Got it.
See,
Okay,
if-
sweet.
I thought I remembered. It takes a village, people.
I'm glad we worked together on
Village
this.
This has
people.
been a team building
If
exercise.
only we had
Yeah.
somebody that takes detailed notes and
And
made them
So
available
your
to
notes
all
are
of us.
glorious.
So, Jeremy,
yeah,
To be fair, all of that is not in the notes. That came from
that's
up
all
here.
up top. All up top. Good job, Speak Up.
So Jeremy, when I
Yeah,
when I make it into the gym, is Nurse Hatchet there?
No. You do not see her anywhere.
Okay. I look to where Coop is passed out. Can I go check on him?
Absolutely. Yeah, you find Coop, again, kind of like splayed out, spread eagle, with his hand almost like sitting on his chest, almost like a curled up cat.
This is not the pet I wanted, man.
I don't know, man. As an Adams, I would love to have Thing as a pet.
You are collecting weird Pokemon right now. This is Coop's journey.
So how big is Coop? Could I pick him up?
How big is Coop, Jamiko?
Sorry, I had to go all the way back to Zoom to unmute
problem.
myself. What is it? A Coop? Coop's kind of a what is it? He's a husky boy, but he's still a little boy. So I think that he's probably how tall are prepubescent children? Like 4 feet or something?
He's
Does
11.
that sound about right?
Yeah.
Oh,
If he's
okay.
like a
So
My-
he's
my
probably
real
like
life daughter is 12
4
and-
foot, 4 foot, but like 80, 90 pounds.
All right. Well, right now for
plus
brawn
Billy is
checks.
rapidly becoming a man. So
for brawn checks, I would be at a +5 to whatever I roll. because I have normally +1 for a team, +3 for the state of the moon, and I also have a rank in tank.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a problem for Billy to pick up Coop at all.
Okay, so I will scoop him up, in my arms. I guess if the hand does not appear to be threatening to Coop, I will allow it to just kind of rest there, and I will carry him out the gym back towards where everybody else is.
Oh, to be fair, this isn't the first time you've carried me.
Oh, yes.
You did carry me briefly when we were in the mansion.
Yes.
Oh.
Right, almost when Persephone almost ripped his little skeleton out of his little body.
Owie.
Which would have made him lighter, but damn.
Just a scotch.
Then you might have ooze powers.
What are you carrying? Oh, I've got Coop's meat suit. It's fine.
Mark that in your inventory. It's in my backpack.
Amazing.
It's a Coop suit.
I think by now
So
Rosie
does that mean
has
we'd have a Coop suit, right?
Rosie has. Oh my god. Rosie has slumped up against the wall and is just sitting. And I imagine like she's like very unladylike. She's got her sneakered shoes and she's just like sitting up against the wall and she's patted down the fluff of her dress and she's just like sitting and staring.
Okay. There's a moment where he's okay. Let's get to the elevator. Come on, follow me.
And are we?
Yeah, we're just
bringing
heading.
Laz.
Yeah, we're bringing Laz. He's the whole reason. Come on.
And I get up and I start dragging Laz again with somebody's help. I hope.
Just weekend at Bernie's Laz all the way to the elevator there.
100%.
Well, if Billy's gone, is it the 3 girls that are carrying Laz now?
It's
100%.
the 3 girls carrying
Listen,
Laz.
he's not that heavy. He's been described as a skinny boy several times, so we are fine.
Yep.
He's a
Got
skater
it.
boy. He's a skater boy. He's fine. He's
And
good.
he said, "See you later, boy." All right. Yeah. Do we eventually make it downstairs, boss man?
So you are on the move, headed that direction, and again, all of the hallways are still, barely lit. Like at every intersection, there might be a light that's actually illuminated. So there's these long stretches of hallway that are just in pitch black that you're having to pass through. And as you're kind of passing into one of these areas of pitch black, several spots of light down the hall, you see a figure in a white lab coat run by.
Oh God. Is he running towards us, away from us, side like ducking?
Cross your path.
Oh my God. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. That's nightmare fuel, man. And we all see this?
Those of you who are looking down the direction that you're headed, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who the hell is that?
Let's just keep going. There's 2 of us,
Well,
Okay.
3 of us.
hopeful probable things. Probable things. It's me. Bad things. It's probably one of the vampires, and that'll be a mess. But let's just not think about that right now. Let's just not think about the worst possible outcomes. Let's think about the good things, like getting Laz back up and running. And yeah.
So it could be either you who put Laz into this whole thing, or it could be a monster.
I mean, yes, and also no. Yeah. Look, I didn't. Yeah.
Rosie's dragging. She's like, "Oak, until you have something well thought out to say, I think
don't
maybe
have
you should
anything
just
to
shut
say
up."
right now. Oh, yeah. I should just shut up. Okay.
Can Jess just fireman carry Laz?
Oh, I
As the rest of
forgot. She's super
Because she's so strong.
Positively.
6 foot
Yeah.
tall, super strong. Let's go.
I think she sees Rosie struggling with Laz, like trying to pull him, and she just goes up to Rosie, just let me, and she just like hoists him up and just
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, thanks, Jess.
Don't forget that I'm there too.
There, we have a lot to explain.
I think Claire is very much wide-eyed and looking wide-eyed at each of you every time you say something, and just kind of muttering under her breath.
Hi, Claire. I know this is a really, really awkward time to like actually meet each other. There's a lot that happened with our group. Definitely not stuff that we could cover all right here. But the moment that I make sure that my best friend, he taps Laz like on his forehead in Jess's arms. It's like the moment that I get my best friend taken care of, explanations will be had, but not right now.
The door at the far end of the hallway behind you kind of flies open, and we see the silhouette of a hand. And it immediately starts like coming down the hallway.
We're going now. We're going fast. Here we go.
Hey Jake, don't put those pops up. I think Claire wants to roll on the grab bag table.
Oh no, reverse. I threatened to roll and you get me to roll. I didn't even think about that as a possibility.
Fantastic.
Yes.
D'Amico
Yes.
dropped 5 gift subs to
rip past.
screw with me.
Nice.
All right, so without looking at the table first, I will roll my D100.
You know what's on the
Well, I mean, I don't.
I know. You don't have it memorized.
I specially curated some purple speckled dice, some very pink dice, and actually I'm going to roll with this set my daughter got me for Christmas that have little baby's breath inclusions in them.
Oh.
Very clear. And I rolled a 20 on the table, which I think skews towards good. Let's see, 20 on the table. Has anybody rolled a 20? No. Jeremy, I'm going to highlight this as green. And I am going to... Alright. I'm going to highlight this green. I'm going to DM you what it is. So you can reveal it how you wish. Because it's a found item. So I will DM that to you in Zoom. That's what it is, and now it's coming the description.
Interesting. Okay.
I only need one more square for a bingo.
Already?
Damn.
Oh yeah, that's on the table.
Okay. So we're in this long hallway. There's been a brief pause because we've seen a figure run across at the end. And now the doors behind you have flung open and the hand has made a reappearance and is now spider crawling its way towards you on its fingertips, casting its long, like impossibly long shadow behind it.
So much.
Is this like coming at like Rosie in the
Specifically, Claire.
Punt it,
Of
Claire.
course it is.
Punt it.
kick it, Claire, kick it,
Kill it with fire.
Are you guys actually yelling "kick it" to Claire?
yes,
Kick it.
get it.
What? And I'm gonna haul off and kick it, or try to.
All right. Give me a fight roll.
Coop, we're sorry that we're gonna have to destroy your hand, but business
You
is
don't,
business.
you don't know how the roll's gonna work out. Like maybe it's a bad roll, and Coop's hand grabs like a shoe. You don't know.
I'm loving the part where I have to roll fight because that's great. I get a +1 in fight because I'm a teen.
Okay.
and I'm rolling a D4. So my total is 2.
Oh,
All right. So that does not beat the 9 that I got.
Oh no. You can also set DCs for those too if you want.
can
Okay,
change
perfect.
I sent you that table as well.
You haul off, Claire, and try to kick this hand. And as you do so, it kind of leaps up onto one of the lockers on the side of the hallway and almost does like a kick step off of the side of the lockers and lands like on like your hip area and like grabs on to your clothes and starts to like climb back up towards your shoulder.
abandon her. We need to go. Leave her.
Jess is already running. Like she's gone. She is not.
So and Jess has Laz, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So I guess probably because Rosie was successful on the first attempt of swatting this hand, Rosie like just tells Claire's like, hold still, and she wants to essentially try to like shoot the gap again.
All right. Roll
May
another
I?
die roll.
Not to intentionally make it difficult and put myself at risk, but I was about to say with this hand landing on her, Claire is absolutely looking at this thing and sort of running in a circle in place.
Oh my god.
Like, get it off, get it off, get it
It's like-
off.
Rotating. Okay, here we go. Fight. Ooh, fight is a 9.
Okay, that certainly beats my 4. So what does that look like?
So I guess probably Rosie's pretty athletic, and so she kind of like notices Claire's like pattern, and she like waits like it's a video game, and as soon as like she like clears the gap, Rosie just like slaps and like whoosh, and I imagine this thing goes whoosh against one of the lockers, and yeah, I hope it's like stunned for a second because I grab Claire by her dumb dress and I'm like, let's go, and I start running down the hallway.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Damn.
You get to the point where you're kind of making the last leg of this journey, where you're about to approach the lab, whenever the double doors that kind of exit that part of the building fling open, and a very frantic Dr. K says, No, you have to come with me. Hurry up.
We were supposed to go there. Laz, what happened?
Hurry.
Okay. I guess we're following him. Come on.
Can Claire and I see the rest of the crew up front here, or no, not yet?
I imagine like they're in one of these pools of light, kind of at the like a T-junction or something, and y'all are like 2 sections of light away catching
I
up.
see. Okay.
Yeah, Jess doesn't know where she's going. She's just
Trust the
following.
adult.
Trust the adult.
Sure.
Okay. So you turn and you head after Dr. K. Dr. K lets the door go as it's obvious that you're following him, and he rushes back to a car, and it takes you maybe a split second or two before you realize this is the car that Billy's driver drives.
I think there's a slight hesitation in Jess, just because they came in this car. So she would recognize it right away, and she like kind of like scoots to a halt and like I imagine almost has to like brace herself with like the weight change shift from Laz's limp body.
I think there's a little bit of
And
an
she's
assist.
in heels.
There's a little bit of an assist from Claire, because I think at this point, as you're blindly following this, well, I guess Claire would only know him as a chemistry teacher, or is he a teacher? And sort of kind of half braces Jess and reaches out towards Rosie, sort of grabbing at their arms and going, what? And kind of looking back over his shoulder, and the only thing that I can get out is stranger danger. Listen, I can't even begin to put into words what is happening in the last 5 minutes. That's something you want to get into a stranger's car.
He's not a stranger. We know him. It's really hard to explain. We know him. He is him.
We know him. There's layers of this, okay? It's like a 7-layer dip. We got to get through all of them to explain it to you. You got to get in the car.
I keep
Also,
looking.
that's Billy's
On
car.
cue, there's a thump, 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 thump that comes from the trunk of the car.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's Carson! He's captured! It's like Criminal Minds!
I think hearing the
You have
thump,
to
thump,
do that.
thump, I immediately interpret that as the hand is coming. And I even say that, the hands! And I now go from holding Jess and Rosie back to pushing them toward the car, looking over my shoulder the whole time.
Oh, and Rosie like dives into the car. Like she goes first if Claire's like pushing.
Rosie, you would get an armful of Laz as
I pull him forward.
Jess just like tosses him in like a plank of wood.
That's a new album from Lazarus. Armful of
Plank
Laz.
of wood. Oh, armful of lads. Amazing. We got to start writing these down. Yeah.
What
So
are Billy and Coop doing?
So I was heading back to the nurse's office thinking that they were going to wait for me. When they're not there, I guess he would begin, trying to look for any kind of signs as to where they could have possibly gone. And do I notice if the hand that was on Coop does anything? Did that get up and go away, or is there another hand?
No. At some point, it kind of hopped down and scooched away into the darkness. And you hear screaming, and you think you might hear Dr. K yelling something up ahead.
All right, so I will head in that direction, towards the voices, towards where this hand is going. I am fairly brain-addled, so he's only doing kind of gut reactions.
Mhm.
Does he notice the car?
What when I get outside that my friends are trying to get into my car? Probably. I think this is well ingrained. But when I put Laz in the car, I would where are you guys planning to go? I would ask Dr. K that when I catch up, or if I catch up, I would ask that, because if they're not taking me to my manor, then I'm just gonna hot-foot it home, because I can't be changing without the support of the family.
He frantically explains, that there's been too many elements that are out of sync. Whenever the next synchronization phase happens, if they find that, then they might reset the entire iteration. So we need to go, and we're gonna go. We're gonna go to the stapler party, but we gotta go now.
All right, then I will get in.
There's
Imagine
another boom,
Billy.
boom, boom.
Billy gets it. It's just like, oh, excuse me. Oh, just so calm.
So confused right now, Doc. There was a lot that I had an understanding of, and then now this is nope. Wipe
So-
the slate clean.
Billy will get a wry smile, and he'll look at you, Oak. Don't worry, you'll understand it one day.
Laz said he might give me some weed after the dance, and now there's no Laz, and I really wish I had some weed.
Check his
pockets.
Yeah, I was just about to say, he probably got it on him.
I've got some gum, and I hold out a stick of Big Red.
I take the gum.
And come on, he's gonna be fine. It's just
Nobody has explained to me yet
Okay.
what's happening.
Okay.
Robot.
I guess since
Didn't you guys say something about that at the pizza place?
You were kind of
Yes.
preoccupied, and we mentioned it, but like you glazed over it like we were telling a story, and that wasn't really the thing. But like,
You start
This
using big
isn't
words,
Laz.
and I kind of zone out. I'm sorry.
This isn't Laz. This just looks like him.
yeah, like he's okay. I just want you to know that, like, he is okay. And
I just
The car hits a
Everything-
bump in the road, and he like
Hey,
flies up and hits his
ow.
head on the ceiling of the car.
He does not look okay, but this is not. How is this not him? This
Okay.
is a robot.
I
him.
just lift one of his limp arms off of where it's probably laying on my lap and just
yeah, so I don't know how, but at some point, Doc decided to do something to like. He's the only one of us who doesn't have an anomaly yet, right? Think about it. He's the only one of us who doesn't have an anomaly. Okay?
Okay.
So to save everybody, apparently I made a choice to protect him so he didn't get one. So, because if he doesn't get one, something's supposed to not happen. Okay? If that's why he's here. That's why this is here.
Rosie's eyes are glazing over again, but she's really trying.
Okay.
Look,
I made a robot version of my best friend so that the world wouldn't go to, in his words, shit. Okay? I'm saying that from Laz's point of view. I don't want things to go to shit. So, hey.
you're
This-
using the wrong details.
Mm-hmm.
Laz
Claire's
is
got her
fine.
hand up.
He's somewhere else, and he was kind of like an RC car controlling, and I'll point to the body. So everything that he
Oh.
said and did was really Laz.
Oh,
Thank you.
But his body is elsewhere.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not really good at explaining all
Makes
that.
sense.
I got a lot up here and not a lot of words that function at.
Do you have anything to say about all this, Princess? And Rosie like glares over at Claire.
who's literally been sitting here with her hand up for like 30 seconds.
Well, sorry,
Yes,
we didn't
Claire.
call on you right away there, Princess.
How can we help you understand our chaos that is our
You-
group?
I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to understand. This is a lot, but you said something about you all have anomalies. Is that
Yes.
contagious?
Yep. It's just
Okay,
like pink eye.
yeah. Do you? Okay, I guess we
I
should
don't know.
ask her a
when
question.
when she says that, I will look out at the sky to try to gauge my timetables.
And it's interesting whenever you do so, Billy, because you see not one, but two full moons. And between them, there are like these woven threads of moonlight, like connecting the two of them. And if you watch them for long enough, they start to like appear like they're getting closer together.
So, in some ways, it's technically possible, and he's trying to not to he's trying to go through the mental things that his mother was teaching him to kind of slow the transition down, but he didn't completely master the training. But he is trying.
And I think it's with Billy's hesitation to answer the question that maybe Claire follows his gaze and also sees this.
Rosie,
What?
you and I don't get along. You don't like me. So you have no reason to lie, right?
I don't know. It depends.
And I'm going to kind of direct, almost like gently, not forcefully, but I'm kind of going to reach out and just push on the side of your face towards the window where the moons are. How many moons do you see?
How many moons do I see?
You see the same.
There
as
are
everyone else?
4 lights. Sorry.
I look and I'm like, yeah, there's 2.
It's-
But like, did you drink the punch? Don't.
Okay.
Yes, but that has nothing to do with it.
So you see 2 moons. Laz is a robot.
Yes.
That was a severed hand.
Yep.
Oh, okay. And we're going to a party
Yeah.
with werewolves and vampires.
Yeah.
The severed hand, Coops. Different time, different place. Coops.
I don't know what a coop is.
Oh,
Coop is our
Coops.
other little friend. He was shit
Coops.
hammered at the dance.
Coops, our buddy, right over here,
Oh.
sitting next to me. The one I imagine
I
Coops'
think-
head is on. Coops' head is on my lap. Like it's just.
You mean
Yeah, he got jostled in that last
you
bump.
mean Kenny Cooper?
Yeah. Coop.
Yeah.
Which would
Ken
make
Cooper.
sense because Kenny
Coop.
Cooper has the prosthetic hand
Yeah.
and all
Yep.
that. Okay.
So,
You are putting this together.
I am going
All
to
right.
focus on the only thing I understand. And I kind of open up my clutch, pull out a compact, and start adjusting my makeup, pull out a brush, start fixing my hair, because we're going to a party.
She wants to look her best.
It's literally it's kind of like a fallback maneuver. Just I don't know what else
Something
to do.
comfortable.
I need to latch onto something mundane that I know, so I'm absolutely grabbing a hairbrush, grabbing my makeup, and just touching things up, and making it a point to not look out the window again, but also not look at the unconscious Robolaz.
Okay. Rosie's just looking kind of concerned at everybody in the vehicle and looking down again at once in a while at not Laz.
I think Jess starts laughing, like in this silence, just like not like anything sinister, but just like she's just like shrugging, and she just kind of looks around, and she finds Claire's, like every time she looks back at Claire's, it just like reignites these giggles that just like come out like
And I think
and I would just be smiling because her discomfort and confusion is just that much more amusing and happy to me.
And I think Claire, I've got this compact up, and kind of as you're sort of giggling, I just kind of hold it up a little bit higher, and in the reflection in the compact, you can just see that Claire's eyes are welling up with tears.
Oh. Rosie doesn't say anything, but she kind of feels bad for Claire in this moment. And Rosie doesn't say anything. She just looks at the 2 moons.
Please roll percentile.
Who?
All of you.
All of us.
All of us at once.
All of Cthulhu, baby.
There we go.
Ow! I rolled a 20 again
Damn.
on the same set of dice.
Hey. So, Oak, at some point during this car ride, you pass the store that once was the bookstore. Forgive me, I don't remember what it is in this iteration. Go ahead, Jake.
I'm trying to remember what it was in this iteration too.
Wasn't it the tackle shop or something like that?
Oh,
something to do with.
it might have been like Alan Bob's tackle or something like that.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So as you're passing this, you realize that this building is kind of shimmering between what it looked like as the bookstore and what it looks like now as this bait and tackle shop.
Oh, it's like glitching.
And
Oh my god.
as you're passing by, you're able to see in through the window. And in the flickers where it is the bookstore, you see the three sisters kind of hunched over what looks like a spinning wheel or like a loom. And they are manipulating threads of moonlight in between them. And as you look and you see this, the one that's the furthest away from you looks up and makes eye contact with you.
Okay. Well, we're just driving by, so it's just like a brief glance at each other, and then, I think I've had enough too, of today, because that's not normal. That's not normal at all. Dr. Kate, do you have anything to say about that nonsense? Because I got nothing.
No, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, no. The buildings, they're glitching. Does that mean anything to you? Because like the buildings are glitching.
Any number of things, and he starts like rattling off like all of these specific instances in which buildings could dematerialize.
Okay. Does anything in the Rolodex of possibilities say anything about a witch's coven and moonlight threading? Because that's what I just saw, and she looked dead in my eyeballs. Okay, she looked dead in my eyeballs as we drove by. That made me feel very uncomfortable.
He kind of stammers for a second. He says, "Macbeth."
God.
Well,
Well, we're fucked now.
if it's moonlight, maybe they're trying to mess with the family.
Wait, so like weaving your fate?
I don't know if it's me specifically or the family.
Okay, possibly.
Okay, how much longer?
We're almost there. Well, maybe. And he kind of looks out the side window, and he pulls over very abruptly and slams on the brakes. The car kind of skidding in the gravel to a stop right outside of the Shipwreck Cafe.
Robo-Laz clatters to the floor again.
I imagine
His
there's
ass,
this
like,
moment.
up in the air.
Yeah, I imagine there's this moment where I imagine this town car has like the little partition between the driver and like the space that they sit. So there's this moment where Oak's head is like sitting. So let me ask you a question, just a small one, because this is a personal character development for me in the future. Did you put Carson in the trunk? Because if that's the case, we need to talk, mister. Okay? That is a moral ground, and we do not do that.
And that's, of course, when he slams on the brakes.
Oh my god. Poof.
Okay,
Face
head
right
first into the footwell on the passenger side.
Yeah. I deserve that. I deserve that. Oh, ow.
The front door to the cafe flies open, and Heinz comes marching out as if like he was expecting this. He comes up to the passenger side window and he knocks on it.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
not
a
in
button.
charge.
No. It's
Not
a crank. It's a crank. It's just. Yeah.
Heinz, are you okay, Oak?
No. We got a lot of things going on. Check the back. Ow. rolls out.
You need to take this with you. And he hands you a key It's a rusty old key, and it's one that is hung on the wall of this restaurant since you first walked through its doors.
Okay, I thought this was just for decoration. I'm gonna be completely honest, Hines. I thought this was a decoration, and what
You should
is
go.
this?
You should go now.
Okay, slams the passenger door right back in Oak's face, and now Oak just kind of like resituates himself in the passenger seat next to Dr. K. I have no idea what's going on, and I need so many answers.
In time, Dr. K says, and he slams on the gas, like peeling out from this gravel, kicking up like this huge rooster tail behind him. And I think we're gonna go on break.
Oh my god, as tires squeal. Badass. I love it.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
I love this already. Thank you guys. That's
well,
so
you heard the
good.
man. We're going to take a
Oh.
break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. See you on the other side.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back from the break. This is Kids on Bikes. Welcome to Paradise, Michigan. Specifically, welcome to Paradise Academy. We're here with the second half of the session. Obviously, I am stepping in for the time being. I wrestled control from Jake, and now he's having to sit in the corner.
Literally. Here he is. He's over
So
there.
somebody does put Jakey in the corner.
Mhm.
80s reference bingo card.
There you go.
So as we come back to the scene where this car is now peeling out in this gravel out in front of the Shipwreck Cafe, turning towards the edge of town, we once again hear this bam, bam, bam from the trunk as the car pulls away from us. And we see in the sky as these two moons that seem to be tethered to one another with threads of like glowing silvery light are starting to converge on one another. They're starting to overlap in a sort of Venn diagram as they are pulled closer and closer into what looks like a purposeful alignment. So as we come back in through the back windshield of this town car over the muffles in the trunk, what's going on?
I think Rosie has gone pretty quiet. I think she's looking, like I said before, she's like looking at Laz and she's looking around at the other people, and her eyes kind of are locked on Claire as she's having confusing feelings of pity. And just not saying much, if anything.
Billy is like, gritting his teeth and smiling, trying to put on a facade. He just, he knows that something crazy is going on because, well, we have two moons. The moons weren't supposed to be out yet, and yet he hasn't changed. He's certainly feeling what it is, but he is just trying to get back to his place and get to the sanctity of the house to see what the frick is all of this about, and maybe they can shed some light on it.
At this point, is hair pouring out of your face like Play-Doh Fun Factory, or?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think the pull that you would normally feel, Billy, is intensified, almost doubled. You are feeling like you're having to hold on to maintain control. And are there physical changes that has happened? Is that represented somehow?
I mean, I had said something earlier about like the more than 5 o'clock shadow when we were like at the end of the dance. I imagine like there is probably a further progression of that, maybe even his hair is even longer, probably the hair on his arms and legs, not that you can see it, but that's probably getting longer as well, more pronounced. So he's probably getting a bit itchy. So heck, maybe like he's sitting there tapping his fingers on like the seats, and he just starts putting holes in the upholstery.
Awesome. That's perfect.
I think Jess is. She's stopped laughing now. She looks really just. Sad, like just kind of like, but in more of like a defeated way of just, you know, things are happening, things are strange. Even with Billy's transformation starting and him trying to hold on, I'd like to think that maybe an anchor that he has is when Jess like grabs his hand and kind of holds onto it, just like creating that baseline for him.
Yeah,
she is of course wearing the tiara.
I think we're still both wearing our crowns because we never said we took them off. So
hers is pinned in for sure.
He would react when you take his hand, like he would, take a moment to look into your eyes and, not say anything, but just try to allow the thanks to come across in the look. And like it might even be like as he holds your hands, like might not even at first acknowledge the fact that he's got the lengthening fingernails, and he might, and you decide whether you like whether it draws blood or whether what have you and how you react. But he would definitely be squeezing to try and let you be that anchor point.
Yeah, and I think no matter what happens, there might be, I can imagine probably holding the hand so tight, like the thumb might like press into her hand a little bit with the claws, and like some part of the other like dig into the seat of the car. And you can hear the slow sound of ripping. You see the blood well up on Jess's hand, but she makes no like indication that that's affected her at all. Is she like still just holds on to Billy's hand?
But he would just kind of sit in that moment and just pass away the time using Jess as an anchor point.
Rosie would elbow Coop. Is he awake?
Ow!
Coop,
Are we
wake up.
driving?
Yeah, we're in the car.
Okay. Coop passes back out.
Coop, wake up! And Rosie shakes him again.
Stop! You'll injure me.
Not gonna injure you.
I'm
Coop,
delicate. My head hurts.
Yeah, I know, bud. We're gonna have to be getting out of the car soon. I want you to start to wake up before we have to like be on the go.
I reach into my purse.
Hey, what's wrong with Laz?
I reach into my purse and I hand you Rosie while you're talking to Coop. I just pull out a bottle of Midol and I hand you a couple of when he says his head hurts, and I just kind of look at you with like that knowing look and kind of a shrug.
Yeah.
I literally have Midol on my character sheet as something Claire has in her purse.
Yeah, that's obviously she has that in her purse. So you hand them to Coop?
No, I hand them to you.
Hand them to me?
I don't know Coop.
Yeah, no, you don't know Coop. Yeah. I take them. Why not? My head hurts. And then I just
There were four
I just
Coop,
like
but...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's funny if you take them.
I mean, there's no. It's like that scene from The Office. Like, I don't have a headache. I'm just preparing. So Yeah, I eventually just be like, you know what? You just gotta stay awake, Coop. We gotta get some fresh air here. And Rosie like rolls down the window nearest her if she can.
Coop will not stick his head out of the window because we've seen Hereditary and we know how that ends.
How mature and measured of Coop. What a responsible decision. Oh god. And yeah, Rosie would just kind of like, if he's sitting, if she's nearer the window, she would switch with him carefully, clumsily, and get him closest to the window.
What about you, Oak?
I think there's this like he's having an existential moment right now, Jeremy. Oak is having an existential moment. He goes, you know, tonight all I wanted to do is go to a dance, have a nice dance with a nice friend, and then I got kissed tonight, and that was cool. That was awesome. I had so much fun. Everything was great. I was gonna ask you if I could. Well, you meaning back there. I was gonna ask Laz if I could ask Rosie to dance, and like, there's just like a whole bunch of stuff. But then that didn't happen, and then all this craziness and. Hey,
Oh,
Doc,
did you ditch your date?
No, I didn't. I swear. I looked around for her and she wasn't there. So when I didn't mean to, but like, if you look around and then they're not there and then your friends are there, you have to protect your friends first, right? Like, that's what I thought. So did I ditch her? Maybe. Did I mean to? Absolutely not. Will I make amends? Yeah. Hey, Doc, is it normal for 12-year-olds to have panic attacks? Because I feel like I'm having one.
Hey,
For
Oh
us,
my God.
yes.
hey,
Put your head between your knees and breathe.
I reach over and I just kind of pat Oak on the hand and I just go, if it makes you feel any better, Orc, I left my date at the dance too.
Claire, you don't even give a shit about Jonesy. It's no consolation to him.
Okay, on a side note, you just called Oak Orc, which in its own way is an amazing compliment to this little man. This little man's like, you just called me Orc. I am absolutely.
nicest
She
thing
literally
I've ever
doesn't
heard.
know what
I
everybody's
am
calling you.
literally riding a vibe right now.
She knows that they call you some kind of nickname, but she's not
Yep.
entirely sure what it is.
She got most of the sounds right. Like,
But what did you say to her, Rosie?
I said, you don't even give a shit about Jonesy. This is not comparable.
I'm sorry, but I do care about Ben
Yeah.
a little.
Ben.
I mean, he's
Are
got
you guys
potential.
dating? He's got potential.
Well, not yet. Probably not after this. He was
Do you
suppo-
like him?
I mean, he was supposed to. Let's just say that he was supposed to make it more favorable for getting and glancing over at Jess and kind of eyes flicking up to the crown. Never mind. You wouldn't understand.
I think I do understand. You were going out with him so you'd be more likely to freaking win, weren't you?
He was okay with that.
Wow. Wow. And Rosie just kind of like leans back and is looking critically at Claire. The pity is gone.
Coop leans
And-
forward so he's kind of on a level with Oak and says, "Who's the new girl?"
Who are you?
Hey.
Are you new here?
Coop. Hey, Coop. Hey, buddy. He kind of like pats his hand on the side. Hey, I'm so glad you're awake, man.
I feel like I missed something.
You did. That's Claire Spicer. We don't really like her, but she's along for the ride. And you know what? Who knows? I don't know anything anymore. I've completely lost sense of time, space, everything. So we're just on a ride now. We're going to see where it goes. Okay, buddy?
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Also, something you should know. Did you see your hand? Because I saw your hand.
Sorry, my what?
Your hand. Your hand from
No, I
earlier.
lost my hand back in the other iteration. Remember?
Buddy, I know. We saw it. Ask Rosie. Ask Rosie. We saw it. We saw it tonight.
It was alive and it was by itself. It was alive by itself.
It was.
Yeah, bingo.
We
It
kicked
was
it a few
on
times.
me. That was your hand.
I don't know. I didn't see it, but I'm the only person that I know of that's lost a hand, so it makes sense it would be mine.
It was literally on my shoulder. It was touching me and everything.
I'm sorry. I don't even know you. That seems like a boundary was crossed.
I would have had nothing to do with such a thing.
For what it's worth, I'm not in charge of it.
Rosie's kind of like looking almost panicked at Jessica because she told, I guess she told everybody. She told Jessica first, but she told everybody that she found the fucking hand in her mom's desk. She didn't know it was alive, but she saw
You
it.
did tell everybody. So
I
how
did.
did it get out of the case?
I don't know.
So if y'all want it to be a little bit weirder, when I went to go check on Coop, it was sitting on his lap like a cat.
Oh, why did you have to say that?
I don't like cats.
That's the toughest part of that information for you, Coop?
There's a lot of information happening right now, and it's all disturbing.
So would you say you're a dog person then? I
Oh
just kind of
my god. A dog person. I think you're a dog person. Speaking of, how much freaking time do you have?
Yeah, are you
Well,
gonna
I mean-
meet us?
the moons are out. So I don't know.
Wait a minute. You're a werewolf?
Yeah, have you seen him? Like,
I think this is the first time. The first time that she's looking at him. Because the only comment that was made is you can come to my house, but there'll be werewolves and vampires there. There was no specific mention
That
of.
he was. Well,
I
Also-
thought maybe it was like a costume party for some reason.
No.
why
Early
would you think
Halloween.
that?
Werewolves and vampires. I thought it was a theme.
You just had a hand on your shoulder, Claire.
And I was trying. You say that as if a single severed hand. And as she says that, she just goes, explains everything.
listen.
Not
I've
a holy
understood-
water, but it's at home.
I've understood about maybe 30% of what's being said in this car. It's like you all have
Welcome.
your own language.
Welcome to what we lived this summer.
And Claire, I get it. It's with the, you don't want it to be true, so you just kind of be like, no, it's not true, and your brain just kind of shuts it down, and sometimes you zone out and miss important information from your friends. But it's, I get it. I get it.
Listen, Claire, also, just an FYI, don't talk to the vampires. I'm not saying this for you and your sake, but I feel like you could really mess things up for us. So just, like, don't talk to them.
I'll talk to them.
How do I know who's a vampire? Which one of you is a vampire?
Nobody is a
Van
vampire.
Houten's.
The twins?
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
family.
pretty much anybody who's pale and a 10.
And kind of creepy vibes.
I mean, it makes sense if you think about it.
Wait a minute. The party we're going to is at. Oh my gosh! I don't know why I didn't put two and two together. You're Billy Stapler. This is the party that the Staplers are throwing tonight. My parents are there.
Why
Well-
is the Spicer family there?
Why wouldn't the Spicer family be there?
What does her family do for a living, Jeremy? Is this common knowledge?
This might be the first time Jeremy's picking up on it.
Her dad owns a frickin' insurance firm.
Other than one of
what is?
one of Claire's strengths is wealthy.
Oh, there you go.
And I figure she's. I would say that her family, if you're going to look at it in terms of the social hierarchy, they're probably in that upper echelon of the Stonehill families, but they probably have one of the smaller houses on Stonehill that doesn't face the Lakeshore. So in terms of high society, they're on the low end of high, like they're barely in there. So
Please tell me they have like a spice empire, like they literally ship spices.
God damn it.
You know what? I'm going to take it one step further. Because one of the items in my backpack is pepper spray. That's what the family is known for. Is it's branded self-defense.
Spicer pepper spray.
Spicer's pepper spray.
Oh my God.
So now the pepper spray in her purse actually says Spicer on it, and it's not a personalization. It's the brand. So in a weird way,
like
it's a
chili
spice.
pepper as like their logo.
Peppers. Yeah, 100%.
There's a quote. Their brand quote is "The spice says no." No, that's terrible. That was a play on "The spice must flow."
That's what.
It was terrible.
Well done.
I regret making that joke. So let's move on.
All of you, roll percentile again for me, please.
Gosh, another total party percentile. Let's rock and roll. Ooh. Damn.
Yeah, some high numbers. Okay. Oak and Coop, both of you also notice that there's a storm that is rolling in over the lake.
Oh, God.
And it's bringing fog with it. And it's at this point that the two of you realize that this fog is green.
Coop elbows Oak. Do you see that?
Ew. What is that? Like,
It's like the Stephen King story. Look, it's
yeah, okay. It's maybe it's radioactive. Like, do we have to get off the road? Like, I don't know.
Dr. K, when his attention is pulled to it, oh, no, lightning legs, this is bad. This is really, really bad. And he starts to like pedal to the metal this town car, like screeching around corners.
Rosie puts her seatbelt on.
Immediately, also
Seatbelt.
checks for safety. Click, click.
If you hadn't kidnapped Carson, I'm certain he could have gotten us there faster. Just saying.
You kidnapped Carson?
By the sounds of it, he's in the trunk.
Boom, 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 boom.
Trust me, it's a moral dilemma that I will have to deal with in therapy for a long time.
Jess wants to, like, I imagine Laz is like laying across the seat, and so Jess just kind of like takes one of the the lap seat belts and just kind of like puts it over Laz's body.
Any old place.
Yeah, it's like around his like leg or something.
There. Now you're safe. Oh my God. Rosie's also kind of like bracing against like the ceiling. She's like wedging herself in as best as she can.
Which is absolutely
Go ahead.
amusing because of everyone here, you are the least likely to get hurt.
I forget about that sometimes. Rosie still has human instincts. She's gone 14 years without knowing she's unbreakable. So,
Like every
So, like,
curve of the road, we see like everybody kind of shift to the side before they can kind of like recover, and then they all shift to the other side.
you hear like horns.
The squealing of the tires.
Yes. Yeah.
Player, I'm gonna say it's you. You now notice this fog as well, but this fog is like has crept up on either side of the road and is matching the speed of the car. And it's almost like it's chasing you down, and like almost like reverse of Moses parting the Red Sea. It's starting to like
Coming down.
collapse.
Oh, I hate it. Oh.
I'm gonna lean forward. So in my mind, because I'm realizing the way we're describing this, there's 8 of us, 9 counting Carson in the trunk, sitting in this car. I'm picturing that the Stapler town car has the back seat has 2 benches that face each other. And in my mind, I'm sitting across from Rosie. Rosie's got her back to Dr. K.
Yeah.
And
That's exactly what I pictured.
And we're both on the driver's side, and I think Rosie, it almost looks like I'm leaning forward to say something to you. But I lean over you and kind of put my head next to Dr. K's. Excuse me, Dr. K? Is there any way
You should
that
probably
you
strap
could
in
is there any way you could drive a whole lot faster?
faster.
Whatever that fog is, it's... And I kind of look at the others. It's gaining on us.
I've got the accelerator depressed all the way. This is as fast as this car goes.
We're fucked. We're fucked. We're fucked. We're fucked.
Ahead, you see the brass filigreed gate of the Stapler mansion
Oh my God, we're almost
in front
there.
of you.
Come on.
And this green fog continues to go forward, and it hits the wall that surrounds the Stapler estate and like shoots upwards, almost like waves crashing against a jetty. And as you are approaching, the brass filigreed gates start to open, and we watch as this green fog starts to fill in all of the empty spaces between the curls of the brass filigree on this gate, forming them into a large open set of green doors with brass fittings.
Well done.
Dr. K says, "Oh no, this is bad." He opens the driver's side door and he leaps out. The car shoots forward through the gate, and all of a sudden, we are in an entirely different place. The car tires hit onto a steel ship deck, squealing because there's water everywhere. It's skidding to a halt. It slams into a large metal smokestack. Snow falls down all around us. Waves crash over the hood of the car and the ship all at once. The camera pans out backwards, and we see this ship tossed on these massive waves. And across the back of the ship is emblazoned Edmund Fitzgerald. That is where we're going to end the session.
Holy crap. Jeremy, for your Michigander friends, I think that's a little extra hit. But I think there's many people have heard about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. That's wild. And I gotta say, until it was happening, I did not see the green doors with the brass inlays happening. That was masterful.
Good. Thank you.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh. We spent almost an entire session in a car. Considering the Stapler mansion is like a mile and a half away, it's hilarious.
What is
No,
time?
I love it. I love it. I actually, kind of was picturing, almost from a cinematography point of view, almost like in Bram Stoker's Dracula, like when they look out the window and you see the moon, but it's turning into like the eyes, and it's not a carriage, but it's a town car. It felt very vintage, time period appropriate. I guess time period appropriate is subjective in this setting as well.
Did we ever resolve Claire's D100?
Jeremy has
No.
the note of it.
Okay.
Don't
forget.
No, it kind of falls in the realm of one of those things like the cassette tape and other stuff. It's a found item, so you got to find the right moment to reveal it. Awesome, Jeremy. The first few minutes.
Thank you very much.
I'd say about the first 20 minutes to 30 minutes or so, it was really hard for me to shift fully into player mode. I kept forgetting to talk to people and care. At one point I forgot I was there. And then I kept wanting to interject when people were like, well, where's this person, or what's going on here, and wanting to interject. Oh yeah, you look over or you see it, and I'm like, no, don't say anything. It's extra interesting because in the handoff, I did not tell Jeremy anything. I did not give him any rules or guidelines or say, hey, this person is untouchable or this thing is this. I said, this is your story now. You have carte blanche to do whatever you want, and it's all canon. So I'm along for the ride with you guys just as much, not knowing what's going to happen and how it's all going to shake out. So this is super exciting.
The thing to consider is now we're on a boat and we're all in formal wear. So at least Rosie's got sneakers.
Yeah.
Well, Jess has
Hell.
weapons as heels.
There you go. The two moons, by the way, they melded into one at this point. But yeah, yeah, I was trying to think. I was like, okay, I know what I kind of want to do. How do I get everybody from here to there when this is like a beautiful bowl of spaghetti? How do I get all of that onto this plate? So that was fun.
I felt like one of the trickiest things, given the relationship set up, is how do we get Claire in with this group of people? And I think using the hand is sort of like a otherworldly sheepdog to kind of physically push her into the others, kind of forced her to be there with a little bit of it's a game, social contract. Obviously, she has to be there,
Exactly.
thrown in. So none of it felt forced. Like, oh, hey, you're just here now. So I'm looking forward to this. We've not set a time limit on this. We've loosely said 2 to 5, but it's whatever Jeremy needs to tell the story that he wants to tell for this arc. And then I will. I have no idea how I'm going to handle the changeover again because I don't know where this is going. So this will be interesting.
Hopefully as we navigate whatever story Jeremy is going to tell, like as we get closer and closer, you can figure out what that transition will look like.
Yep, I've got some ideas, but yeah, that's something I'm keeping an eye on. I did not get a bingo.
My brother in Christ, I was waiting for language. I was so excited we were going to a place with adults, and it never happened.
I don't think anybody dropped an F-bomb in this session. But
well, it wouldn't have mattered. There wasn't really anybody around to like.
Claire is a member of the Campus Crusaders.
Oh.
So she absolutely would have. Campus Crusaders is this world's Campus Crusade for Christ. I have that Claire. That's one of her extracurriculars. So she absolutely would have called language on somebody. So
she's in for a rude awakening.
yes. Well, I'm not going to say too much more because I have ideas for Claire, and I don't know what Jeremy's ideas for Claire are. Plus, whatever all you guys are going to get in trouble you guys are going to get into. So with that, huge thank you to everybody who tuned in. Hey, with special thank you to Tamiko, we hit our sub goal that I forgot I had active, which was 100 subs. I put a new goal for 110 subs. But that also means we're sitting at 41 domain pops. I'm chomping at the bit to unleash one of those. I sensed the end coming, so I didn't send one out to somebody, but thank you to everybody who hung out with us in the chat. Love seeing the activity in the chat. If you're somebody that likes to lurk quietly in the background, we appreciate you. Or if you're watching later on the VODs, we appreciate you and hope you enjoy our presentations. I guess as always, just a tremendous thank you to this wonderful group of players, and a little extra nod to Jeremy for absolutely picking up the thread when I tossed this out. I had little doubt that you would accept, or that you wouldn't accept. I had little doubt that you would refuse. No, I don't. You know what I'm trying to say? I was pretty sure that you were going to say yes. That's what I'm trying to say. Weird double negatives. And I knew you could handle it, and you would take this into an interesting place. So I'm looking forward to see what you do with that. But huge thank you, as always, to everybody around this virtual table, Jeremy and Chad and Tamiko and Em and Carrie and Ted, and myself, without whom this would just be Jeremy talking to himself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream. You can say it with me if you want. Metadata.